It's 2nd down and 12. Candler will ride it inside with Jackson. Got a little crease. 30, 35. Devontae to the 40. He may go. Devontae to their 40, their 30, their 20, the 10, 5. Touchdown, Devontae Jackson.
And hello again, everybody. The David Dean Postgame Report. West Georgia Wolves, West Alabama Tigers. We'll look back at that one today, ahead to the Mississippi College game, and we're brought to you by SMI, Systems and Methods Incorporated. Coach Dean, there were a lot of good things in Livingston, Alabama Saturday, but there were enough to make you want to pull your hair out, and it had to be mighty tough for you and the guys after the ball game.
It was. It was a very difficult day. We got off to a great start offensively. Defensively, we were in we were reeling a little bit because they're a good offense and they were moving the ball down the field. So it looked like it was going to be a shootout. And really, offensively, the only thing that hurt us in the first half was the fumble right there before the half, and we allowed them to get a field goal. If we don't do that, we're going to go up 28-14 at the half. But the second half was just as crazy a half as I've ever been associated with. We just had some miscues, misfired on some throws, had a bad snap. We got a long run from our quarterback, and he drops the ball. It was just kind of Ripley's. Everything that could go bad, is that who it is? Is it Ripley? Everything that could go bad went bad. And it was just frustrating because I felt like that we were playing a very good football team very well and just let them back in the game.
Coach, you overcame some adversity. I thought some youngsters you had to count on in the offensive line on Saturday. Obviously, you guys grade the film and know who played well, who didn't, but that group hung together well and allowed you to move the football.
Well, they did. We were without our two tackles. We had some injuries up front after the Valdosta State game, and we were out our two starting tackles, so we had to move Quentin out to tackle from guard to tackle. We started a true freshman at our right tackle, and I thought he played an outstanding football game against a very good defensive line. I was really proud of the way that they played. Obviously, we ran the ball very well. They protected well at times. I think late in the game, we gave up some pressure, but for the most part, what they did, having really three new starters when you have to move a guard around right there, really proud of the way that they played.
Also, as we're talking about the positives of the West Alabama game, let's talk Devontae Jackson. Over 300 all-purpose yards, got us started very well, and ran for $169 on the evening. Not a bad night.
Well, he had two touches, and I think he had 177 yards right off the bat. But not only the yards that he had, but how he got those. He broke a lot of tackles. He made a lot of guys miss. He was one of those guys that was in the zone, and that's why we tried to run the ball so much with him. He was a guy that was carrying us at that time, and a lot of it had to do with the line, but when he was getting into the secondary, he was breaking tackles. Really proud of the way that he played. He, with Travis being out, and he knew that he was going to have to shoulder a bunch of the load, he accepted that challenge and played an outstanding football game.
Turning to the other side as well, you took away, for the most part, their running game. They have an outstanding tailback. They've got some big yardage against people. They didn't run much on you.
No, they didn't. Our defense did an outstanding job of shutting down the run, and that was one thing that we were concerned with coming in. We knew they were going to get yards passing. They're very good in the pass game, but we couldn't let them get loose in the run game. And I think for the most part, we controlled their quarterback as well. He has been a guy that has gotten them a lot of yards from the pocket. We contained him pretty well. When he did get outside the pocket, we were in his face, and he was – he had to throw the football away. But that was one of the things that kept us in the football game, obviously, was their lack of run game. Again, great credit to that defensive line, great credit to the scheme of our defensive staff who put that together. I just wish we could have made some plays in the back end. But to their credit, they're a good football team. They're very good offensively, and they went up and made some plays.
Anything else stick out for you? We'd love to dwell on the positives because I know the result was not what you wanted, but there's some good things about this team. I thought we fought our guts out.
Well, we really did, and we had a lot of things go against us. And I think if people watch the game, they know exactly what I'm talking about. But our kids kept fighting. They hung in there. And even with all the injuries that we had, we lost Zed Brown in the second quarter, and you're talking about a 4-year starter in the secondary. And he's really the quarterback of our secondary. He gets everybody lined up. We lost him and the offensive guys that we didn't have playing. We still had an opportunity to win that game with all the things that went wrong, and that's a credit to our kids. They didn't give up. They kept fighting. They kept believing. And ultimately, it just came down to West Alabama made one more play than we did, and that was the difference in the game.
Well, Coach, second loss in the league, second loss overall. A blow, but not a fatal blow necessarily. There's still a lot ahead for this football team.
Well, there is. You know, we've got 4 games left. We can still finish 9-2, and I believe with a 9-2 record of who we lost to at Delta State and at West Alabama, who are probably going to end up in the top of the conference if everything continues to go according to plan. I think that's going to get us where we need to be and into the playoffs. And you know, we had a lot of goals that we set at the beginning of the year, and one of them was to win our state championship, which we were playing 4 games in the state. We still got one more next week with Shorter. We still have an opportunity to go to the playoffs, which was one. We still have an opportunity to win the national championship if we can get in the playoffs. The one that's going to be tough is winning the conference championship. We have to have a lot of help now. But our focus has got to be on Mississippi College. We got to rebound. We got to go back out on the road again and play very well and try to grab some momentum. And, you know, again, if you want to make a run for a championship, you got to be playing well at the end of the year. So now is the time when we start to eliminate some of these penalties, eliminate these mistakes, and start to play our best football right now.
Coach, you've been a part of runs that got teams that got hot late in the year and made great runs. You got coaches on this staff who've been a part of that as well. That's got to, I would think, be a positive as you get on that practice field this week.
Well, it is. And when we met yesterday, you know, we talked and said we've got to put this one behind us. As bad as it hurts, once we watch this film, correct the mistakes, when we go out on Tuesday and start preparation for Mississippi College, we got to put it behind us. We can't have a hangover on that. And I alluded to that. You know, I said, we got a guy that sits right back here in the back, and pointed to Coach Cochran, who was a quarterback for our national championship team with the team down south. And we were 2-2, and we went on a 10-game run. And I told our guys, all we have to do is win 9. We don't have as tough a road to hoe as we did down there. So we can do it. We got to stay healthy. Obviously, we got to have some things go our way. But I challenged them. I said, the thing that you got to do is you got to stay together. You got to keep believing in each other. And if you do that, you're going to have a chance to make a run because you're athletic enough, you're good enough, and you're a brotherhood, a good football team that is a family that can make that run as long as you stick together.
Well, that run has to begin Saturday at Robinson-Hale Stadium in Clinton, Mississippi, and it's a de facto every week's playoff game now.
It is. Our backs are definitely against the wall, and that's the way we're going to treat it. We're in a 9-game playoff run, and that's the great thing about college football. You have an opportunity to prove yourself every single week. We didn't prove ourselves in Livingston, Alabama, and we put ourselves in this situation, but good football teams find a way to respond. When we went to Delta, we lost. We came back, and we responded very well against North Alabama, responded very well against Valdosta State, and then we came back and we responded very well against West Alabama. Just didn't finish the respond, but we got to do that once again.
What about the team? What about the Choctaws? What will we see Saturday?
Well, you know, they're struggling right now. They're over on the season. They've been in a lot of games. They're playing a lot of guys tough for a first half, and then I don't know if depth kind of gets a hold of them. But you know, they're a dangerous bunch. They're good enough on offense that they can score points. They can put pressure on us. They're a 3-man front, which gave us trouble at Delta State. So, you know, it's going to be a challenge for us. They're always very good on special teams. They're very well coached. They're just, you know, some things that are not going right for them right now. And hopefully one more week, we're going to put them in a situation where things don't go right.
Let's go take care of our business and keep it going wrong for them if we can.
Well, I certainly hope so. And, you know, Saturday will not get here fast enough. I can promise you that. We need to get back in there and get back on the field, and I know our guys are hungry to do that.
Maybe that's the best thing about college football. You get to go play a game.
You get to go play a game again. That's exactly right. And we got 4 left, so we got 4 guaranteed opportunities. Hopefully we'll make the best of those 4 guaranteed opportunities, and the people will put us in a position to make a run for the big show for the national championship.
Head Coach David Dean, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
And thank you for being with us today. West Georgia Wolves, Mississippi College Choctaws, 3 p.m. Eastern kickoff from Robinson-Hale Stadium, Clinton, Mississippi. If you'll go to uwgsports.com, you'll have links to the audio, the video, and all the pregame activities and things you want to do to follow your Wolves all week and all through the season as well. Thank you, SMI Systems and Methods, for bringing you the David Dean Postgame Report today. And I'm Mitch Gray. Thanks for joining us.